3, 2, 1, and we are live. Welcome to episode 23 of the Mixed Martial Arts Podcast. I am your host once again. It's Ben Coe. Woo, 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 woo. And joining me today, we got the co-host Alejandro,
and not Bilal.
Not Bilal because he's too busy doing shit.
Yeah, he's watching wrestling.
Tell our co-host to go fuck himself in the comments below, please. It'd be very, very appreciated. Just like 40 comments of "fuck you, Bilal" would be amazing, right?
So, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're going to talk about this little thing that happened last night. It's called UFC 236. I don't know if any of you watched or heard about it or know anyone who heard about it, but some things happened, and those things were two fights at the top of the card that were.
Well, 3 fights. There was a lot of violence.
There was significant amount of violence, yes. Not before that fight, mind you, those fights, mind you, but just, roughly around that fight area.
Yeah, roughly around the time Eric Anders started getting his leg kicked.
Yeah, that's when the violence really started.
Yeah, it's when the night really started picking up.
Yeah, with a couple of with two spurts of violence before that, but
I don't even remember those. I just remember Eric Anders getting.
Pantoja murdered Wilson Hayes and Khalid Tahad murdered.
I actually missed that fight because I was reading something on Twitter.
All right.
It was so fast.
It was fun. Yeah, it was good. It was good though. It was, listen, those last 2 fights were good enough to make up for any shit on that card.
Yeah, I actually wanted to watch Poliana Botelho fight, but I missed it.
Yeah, you can go watch it now. She won. Nah. She won.
I know she won. I mean, she's a 125er. Wait, what's that sound?
That was me.
Oh, that's Bilal. I can see his face.
Excuse me.
He's back. He's done watching wrestling.
He's back?
Yes, he's back.
Wow, wow. Look, Bilal had the courtesy to show up.
The audacity to arrive late, though.
Bilal, you there? Or are you going to mute yourself and not pretend that no one knows you're there?
Are there demons, Bilal?
What?
Are there demons?
Probably. Anyway, considering he's just going to sit there quietly, we're going to start by talking about...
I was just a bit noisy where I was.
Oh, he's so considerate.
Know.
Let's keep going.
All right, we're going to just keep talking. Basically, we're going to talk about Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway and Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum.
Did you need to tell me you were going to talk about Dustin Poirier?
No, I didn't need to tell you, but I'm going to tell the people who are listening.
Ben was so freaked out yesterday.
Ben was on edge. There's definitely.
It's like when
I was still waiting. I was waiting for you to put on the live cast, and you just chickened out halfway through.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I would. I was just not. I wasn't able to. I needed to watch the fight without, like. The Bader-Fedor fight, I was nervous just because it was a Bader fight, but at the same time, I was also just like, mute yourself, Bilal.
What the fuck? More demons?
Nah, he pulls over on the side of the road, so of course he's going to have trucks because he can never make sure he's home.
Demon trucks?
Just cut me some slack, okay? It's like Sunday, late afternoon, yeah.
All right, anyway... No, all right. We tease you enough. It's fine. We know. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the top 2 fights on the card, and we'll go from there. All right?
Okay. And remember the name.
We are going to mention your namesake.
Namesake. Literally your namesake.
Okay. Dustin Poirier defeated Max Holloway via unanimous decision. He got a 49-46 across the board. Personally, I would have been, I think a 48-46 would have made people less angry. because a lot of people wanted Max to win the third and fourth round. But
I'm not sure he did though.
yeah, I know. I think the fourth
It
round
was close. I watched it. It was very close. I think the only thing that really offset how close he made it was the power.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're going to talk about what we saw, obviously, but I think the important thing is that we talk about how right I was.
How right we
I
were.
didn't. Well, no, I'm saying that how right I was.
pointed out similar things.
Hold on, no, what I mean is that I was right from the start. Y'all were like,
I was also right from the
you
start.
did not. No, you jumped on later.
I wanted Holloway to win.
You jumped on later.
I wanted.
You jumped on
When
later.
is
When this fight
later?
was first announced, I from the start was saying Dustin would win. Not you. You said, "Oh, I see it. I need to look at it more." And then as time went on, you joined me. I am the fucking leader of this train. This is my fucking train.
Dustin train.
All right?
Fine,
I've been on
fine.
this fucking train from the start.
I'll get on the other Sanya train then for Alejandro.
No, you shut up. You shut up. My poor dog.
It worked out exactly as
It
planned.
happens to be we were definitely right about how this turned out. Also, Dustin Poirier, thank you for winning me some money.
Yes.
It's funny. Okay. Anyway, so basically what we learned here, right? What did we learn here? Max went up to 55, in my opinion, and did not actually plan to stay at 55. And it showed because while he was able to eat the shots at featherweight and, just overwhelm, we saw a difference in the shots Dustin Poirier was landing at lightweight and the shots that were being landed at featherweight. Even a guy like Aldo who hits fuck hard.
Yeah,
the shots were not nearly as telling. And that's with
he emptied all the shit from the toy box on Holloway's face, and it didn't affect him.
What?
He hit Holloway with all the shit. Aldo hit Holloway with all the shit.
Oh, right. I was like, Aldo. I didn't realize you were talking about Aldo. Yeah, he hit Aldo. He hit Holloway with everything, including the kitchen sink, the refrigerator, and the fucking couch. All right?
And he survived.
Holloway just walked through it.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that against Poirier. Poirier has got to be top 3 hardest hitters in lightweight history, right?
I'm not sure.
No, not just about that. There's a couple other things Poirier was doing, like those tapping shots just to set up range for the pocket and then cracking over.
You're talking about also in terms of pure when he hits, the visible impact of when he lands, I feel like is more than a lot of other historic power punchers at lightweight. He might not.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying in comparison to Aldo, because Holloway still ate some of the shots from Poirier when he was ready for them fine. Or was most of the time when Poirier set up a shot or drew him into a counter.
Oh yeah.
And Aldo is uniquely not suited to do that against Holloway only.
Well,
every other fighter he can do it.
Every single shot he throws with intentions to take your fucking head off. So, yeah, as fast as Aldo is, these shots they're not coming from weird angles with Aldo. They're very Max was able to.
Yeah, Aldo isn't exactly.
Aldo was throwing at him.
Aldo isn't exactly going tap 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 to line him up and then hit. He's just kind of throwing it out there, and then Max has to duck out of the pocket.
But also.
So just a straight up hot take from me. I think that last night we really just saw the limitation of Holloway's style.
Yes, I agree.
I've been saying that for days.
Right, but I'm saying we actually saw it play out.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely happy about it.
Yeah, the limitation.
This is something we spoke about before. We've all spoken about this before. We brought it up basically by saying, does Holloway win the Aldo fights without his insane durability and pace? No, or even just the durability. But no, he loses that fight every time. He loses the first fight by knockout in the first round.
Yes.
So when you come up to lightweight and you're at a severe strength disadvantage, you're now at a reach disadvantage, a power disadvantage, a comparable skill level, I mean, yeah, you got, and you rely on durability and pace against the guy who's able to keep pace with you. And Dustin was able to shut. Are you kidding me? Dustin
let me make my
Dustin
argument.
nearly threw 400
Wait.
strikes.
Let me hear what Ben says finish, because I also wanted to jump in, but I want to hear finish.
Saying Dustin was not more tired than Holloway.
Finish.
Holloway was obviously the fresher fighter in terms of cardiovascular endurance. There's no question. We saw Dustin was taking some deep breaths. But it doesn't matter to me that a fighter is taking deep breaths. That is not what I
that's not what I was gonna say. Poirier picked his spots with clinches and takedowns, even if they didn't get to the ground.
The only round he was significantly outpaced in terms of significant strikes was round 3. And while he did get outstruck in every round except for the first, where he literally threw 115 power strikes to Max's head, he still was able to recover and slow things down when he needed.
No, that's what I was trying to say. It's not
right,
that
but that's what I'm saying. When
one-on-one pace with Max's.
But you don't need to.
Cardio. Let me finish. I was going to say that he picked his spots really well to neutralize some of the volume threat.
Right,
and
but
he was able to stay afloat with that. He didn't drown because everyone else drowns because they can't neutralize it, and he could pick his spots well enough that he could at least, just for a good enough job to win the fight.
It does help that Dustin hits like a fucking ton of bricks.
Oh no, it does help.
Also, not only that he hits hard, it's that he hits hard consistently,
even when he's tired,
and
even when he's tired, that's the craziest part.
And often enough that it works as a deterrence factor on its own. Holloway did really well with his footwork. I think it was better than Dustin's.
No,
but at the same time,
Dustin was
absolutely
every small angle change Holloway tried, Dustin was tracking.
There's no point in time where Dustin was getting outmaneuvered.
No. Let me finish.
I'll let you finish, but go ahead.
What I'm saying that it was better than Dustin is that when you reset and you're supposed to take an advantageous position, Holloway seemed to me to get there first. Most of the time, but Dustin always had something to come back with. He was counter-striking a lot, and most of all, he wasn't. It's like he took that extreme aggression he used to have, but funneled it through this channel of usefulness. So it's not that he was playing the jockeying positional game with Holloway so much as he was neutralizing him from the very start. He wouldn't allow him to get off what he needed to get off.
That's I really don't understand what your point is. You're basically saying Holloway showed better footwork, but Dustin was countering his footwork with counters? I don't understand.
No, my point is that he was doing the things that he needed to do, but not necessarily from a motion standpoint. Like he wasn't countering his motion with more motion. He was countering
That's not footwork. That's not what footwork. Movement is not footwork. Yeah, Holloway moved more than Poirier, but that doesn't mean he had better footwork. In the pocket exchanges, and again, when he was working off the counter, Holloway was getting tagged on these counters because his footwork was not better than Poirier's, and Poirier's footwork off the back foot was much better than people think it is. And he displayed that with these counter shots that he was landing. And he was able to do it consistently. And even when moving forward, Poirier's movement and footwork was just as good as Holloway's. His pressure footwork was really good. And he was able to catch Holloway clean multiple times in those exchanges because of how good his footwork was.
I wouldn't put it just to his pressure footwork, though. His pressure footwork did. His pressure footwork wasn't as airtight as say RDA in this fight there.
No, of course not.
Those hooks to corral.
Wait, but whose is? But whose is? How many people do a better as good as RDA?
Yeah, no, but let me get to the point there. So he used these hooks to corral Holloway quite well.
Yeah.
And he tracked Holloway's own footwork. So whenever Holloway tried to take an angle from the outside, he'd instead turn with Holloway so that when Holloway came forward, he'd become in a straight line and easier to counter.
For sure. I also think we really need to point out just how amazing Dustin's fight IQ was in this fight. And in general, recently it's become incredible because all of his shot selection was virtually perfect in this fight.
For the most part,
I think it's coming down to his.
Hold on, let Alejandro talk.
Okay.
Yes. No, but back to the footwork thing. The argument I'm making is that Holloway's footwork, for the most part, is to position himself to do something, and Dustin's is not necessarily the same thing. Like, I'm speaking purely from the standpoint of positioning. Where do I need to be in order to be the most effective? And what Dustin was doing is that, for the most part, from my first watch, is that he was responding, but he was staying in place.
You have to be in position to respond in order to respond in the first place. Otherwise, you whiff on shots.
My point is that from the positional.
But I'm arguing with you on that. Dustin's positioning is a direct response to the footwork of Holloway, which is footwork in and of itself. He's using his footwork to put himself in a position to respond. So to say that Holloway displayed better footwork, I completely disagree.
No. I do not agree with that. I really do not agree with that.
I know we're disagreeing. That's what's happening right now.
Let me say why. Because there is such a thing as having defensive motions. And there is another thing as having footwork to put you in a position where those defensive motions are circumvented. Okay? And what Dustin did was that while being in place and planted, he countered a hell of a lot of what Holloway did to him. Mind you, a lot of shit still got through because Max Holloway is Max Holloway. But I was honestly very surprised first that the actual footwork you mentioned showed up, like the positioning, the pure positional aspect, but the reactional defense that he showed, actually, I underestimated that.
I told you, but nobody listened to me. Bilal did, but you didn't.
No, because I had never seen him do stuff like this.
He's been doing that type of guard and movement for a while now.
But not against a Max Holloway, he hasn't.
It doesn't have to be against Max Holloway.
It doesn't have to be against him.
That's the point. Like, the defensive skills that he was showing were there.
You know what I found really cool? You know that eye elbow guard into shoulder roll he was doing?
Yes, so I loved it.
What I found really cool was that that works best when you're in a closed stance, right?
Yeah.
But in an open stance, an open up is a counter left straight, right? Yeah. So then Holloway had to then pick, okay, is he going to switch to southpaw and have a closed stance where then Poirier can use the counter off the shoulder roll because that's when it's effective? Right. Or he's going to go open stance and stand in orthodox, in which case Dustin just let go of the left hand.
Absolutely. And that's something that we also need to point out is that Dustin uses switch hitting and switch stances the way you fucking should. Right? Like he's not Uriah Faber in this shit. You know? Where he just switches stances from the outside.
No, well, he's not throwing just an overhand. No, but the argument is that Dustin has tools within a very constrained amount of space, whereas Holloway needs to be moving around in order to do most of the effective work he does.
Okay.
Do we agree on that? And when I'm saying
Dustin could do more damage in every area of fighting.
Yes. What I'm saying is that there were moments when Dustin was literally standing still.
Okay.
Even in the defensive aspect, when he was taking shots, like I'm going back to the Jorge Masvidal thing.
I know what you're talking about. I understand what you're saying.
And he was finding ways of staying active and even receiving less punishment than someone less responsible would. Like, say, we're going to get into that, like Kelvin Gastelum. Like, to make another
But I
comparison
don't see how that means that Holloway has better footwork. If your footwork is basically, you're saying his footwork is better because Holloway had to move.
No, but look, listen to me. I am making a distinction that I'm saying footwork in order to position yourself around your opponent, like active footwork. What Dustin was doing was mostly standing in place and planting.
Well, no, I disagree on the mostly standing in place. There were definitely times where he was doing that and he would work.
No, I know, but I'm speaking strictly on the defensive end.
But but you're making up your own definition to say you're right.
You're also making your own definition then.
I'm not. I'm saying I disagree with your assertion. Your assertion is that Max Holloway has better footwork because Dustin was doing defense while standing still.
But because he positions himself better during fights. What Dustin does is that he reacts better.
But what? Stop. Hold on a second. Where was Dustin's footwork ever outmaneuvered? In this fight,
Michael Johnson fight.
In this fight, and he was definitely not outmaneuvered in the Justin Gaethje fight. But where was he outmaneuvered consistently by Max Holloway?
No, he wasn't. Not consistently.
And how can you say?
No. Wait. There is a moment, and I'm quoting with Dustin Poirier, where he felt the fight was going away from him. It means he was taking a ton of damage. Like
it's a little overrated, but yes.
No. That's what he said. I'm quoting him.
That's what he said that when he said, no, I'm not going to let that happen.
Yes, I know.
I know the interview you're talking about.
But my point is that he felt hurt. So for him to be hurt, it means that there came a ton of moments in that fight where he was taking a lot of shots.
Okay.
He was being outmaneuvered. He was forced against the cage. And he was being landed on.
If Max Holloway was outmaneuvering Dustin Poirier, yet Dustin Poirier was doing more damage consistently throughout the fight and doing better throughout the fight to land his shots.
Agree. And
how can you say Max Holloway was outmaneuvering Dustin Poirier?
But how can that be then? How can you feel like you're going to lose the fight?
He didn't feel like he was losing the fight. He said he was getting
listen to what he said.
In that
what
moment.
He said, he was getting bombed on. He was getting hurt.
Okay. Again, so in one moment during the fight,
there was more than one moment.
I'm sorry, you're right. In one round. So on the other,
it was consistent throughout the fight. He was just better. He was landing the more damaging strikes, but he got connected consistently. This is not how Max
He had better defense than Max, man. Come on, Alejandro, you're being contrarian at this point.
No, I'm not being contrary. He got connected consistently.
He avoided many of those shots. The shots Max landed, usually the shots Max landed were mostly later in the fight when you could start building up exchanges, like lengthy exchanges. But Max is always good at that. For the boss,
60% of his shots. 60%. That is bad for Max Holloway. That is not good for Max Holloway. Max Holloway,
nobody's saying that he was winning the exchanges. For most of the fight, he's getting damage.
No, but for most of the fight, Max was taking more damage because he'd step into the pocket. Poirier would avoid the first couple shots, come back with a counter, and Max would get scared away. That was most of the fight. That was most of the fight. Him getting
the third round is the only time. The third round is the only time he didn't get scared away, and that's because Dustin was seemingly needed to recover from beating the shit out of Max for 2 rounds. Yes, the second round.
So,
I'm going to take that back. The first round, he beat the utter shit out of Max. The second round, Max was winning the round slightly. Max was winning the second round.
Look. Dude, I don't even give a single round to Holloway.
Okay, but that's not my point. My point is that the second round, Max was slightly winning, and then Poirier rocks him and then just beats the shit out of him for the rest of the round. The third round is the round that everyone gives to Holloway, basically. I'm not saying you. I know you don't, but that's not my point.
But my point is that when you are getting hurt to the point that you feel that you may lose the fight, you have been outmaneuvered at that point. There were a ton of times where Dustin was being outmaneuvered. Were they lasting? No, but they were significant enough that he felt enough damage that in his mind the fight was getting away from him.
But
and it's not something
that's just
you can
being an
deny.
honest.
Most of the fight, Holloway got outmaneuvered. I mean, I said this.
Yeah, but there were
Holloway
enough
tried to cut
times,
the
that's
angle.
what I'm saying.
That was most of the fight. Watch it again. So many counters
Dude,
come off.
I'm sorry,
Holloway
you're so
stepping on
wrong
the
on
outside
this.
to try to cut angle.
No.
You're
Poirier
so
tracking
wrong
that,
on
turning,
that.
wanting to track it.
Listen,
Then Holloway come. Can I finish talk?
Go ahead.
Shut the fuck up, then.
Can I
No language.
Oh my God, that's amazing. All right, go ahead.
Like most of his counters just came off tracking. When Holloway tried to come in at the angle, he just turned wanting to track it, and when Holloway actually came in, he'd be coming in on a freaking straight ass line with his head up, and Poirier would sting him with a counter. It was like most of the fight. The hardest punches, in fact.
Just to point out, this is the lowest strike percentage of connection of Max Holloway's career since going back to, I'm already at Charles Oliveira, which happened in 2015. So we're going back a long way.
But you're giving me numbers. What I am saying is that he got hurt enough
So
time.
what? So what?
That's
That
how
is
you
not-
judge fights.
But we
Okay.
No, but you are saying that Holloway was better, right? But Poirier
No,
like
better
outstruck him
how?
for most of the fight.
Better
No,
how?
he
but
wasn't.
Hold on, guys. I feel like I can make peace slightly with this bit of information. Okay. So Max has faced Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo, Poirier, Pettis, Lama, Stevens, Charles Oliveira, Cub Swanson. The person Max Holloway last landed less on than Dustin Poirier is Cole Miller.
What?
Exactly, Cole Miller.
Lol. Wow.
He landed 57
God damn.
out of 176 at a 32% clip.
It's odd.
It's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard. And then before that, it was Akira Kurosani, who he landed. I can't believe it. He landed 37. He landed 60% on Akira Kurosani. So Cole Miller, confirmed GOAT.
That's kind of insane. That's kind of insane.
I have no idea what to make of that at all.
I don't know what to say.
No idea what to make of that.
Just MMA being MMA, I guess.
MMA might be the weirdest sport ever. Are we at least agreeing on that?
Well, we've said before, it's like Pokemon. Like sooner or later, Max is gonna face a fire type.
It's such a good analogy. Okay, we're gonna stop yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Because it's not nice, and we love each
Yeah,
other.
no. I'm looking for the Dustin Poirier Max Holloway numbers.
And the numbers, just go to Fight Metrics. Just type in Dustin Poirier Fight Metrics. They'll come up.
Okay, Poirier Max Holloway was red, right?
Max Holloway was the red corner, Karik.
But it should say their names on there. So
Yeah, it also is kind of crazy how many strikes got landed to the head. like
oh yeah,
Jesus.
no, Poirier was having like none of that body shit.
It's funny when you're saying that he didn't have good footwork and that he was getting outlanded. Listen, here's for the first round.
We didn't
Dustin-
say that Dustin was that Max didn't have good footwork.
54-30, Dustin. Okay, second round, 32-31, Holloway. Third round, 53-33, Holloway. Round 4, 42-34, Holloway. And round 5 was 26-24, Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We know
So-
this, but
so
we
what
also
we're
count the effectiveness of the shots.
No. I know, but that's not where I'm going at. What I'm saying is that there was ample opportunity for him to land punches. So this idea that he was somehow outman and that he had nothing to give there and that he was being eaten alive is a fiction. Like what he didn't have was the damage behind the punches.
Who said that he was getting eaten alive?
No, but you're making it seem like his footwork wasn't better enough that he was having
we're saying it's just simply not any better than Poirier's was. And the fact of the matter is that
at some points it was, and the numbers show it.
I didn't say at some points he didn't show good footwork compared to Dustin or wasn't doing well. What your assertion was that he had better footwork throughout the fight.
No. I say I had better footwork, and then I was interrupted, and then I was not allowed to finish, which is...
We let you finish multiple times, and you still consistently repeated that you thought that Max had better footwork than Dustin.
But I am using a different contextual definition of footwork. I'm speaking purely positional, whereas Dustin was planted in place.
That doesn't matter to me. If your footwork is not effective...
we're working on the...
If Max was trying to position himself around Dustin to land the shots and was getting outlanded while Dustin was planted, why does Max have better footwork? If Max was getting countered,
was he getting round 5 and round 1 and round 5?
No, but you don't need to be on your toes and moving around for it to be good footwork. You can be planted and have good footwork. You just take smaller steps.
Exactly. No.
I look at it from a more then my boxing, I might have a boxing bias because footwork in boxing literally means moving around.
Even
in boxing, you need good footwork in order to be able to plant and land the counter shots.
You get flat-footed fighters in boxing themselves, like.
Come on, man! Being planted in itself and being able to land these shots, defend against your incoming shots, and land counter shots is part of footwork too. You need to be able to.
Okay, but if you're getting outlanded, what does that tell you?
But he's getting outlanded by shots that are nowhere near as damaging.
But my point
not
is
just that. Look at Max's volume. Like he's getting outlanded, but by a much smaller percent of strikes actually get through.
And Max is landing at a lower percentage as well.
But I'm looking at
if you are throwing like Max, you are going to land a lot of shots just by virtue of throwing a lot of strikes.
Here's the thing. If this fight doesn't take place now, but takes place a couple years later when Max Holloway has the time to actually put muscle on.
Or be done, or his chin is done.
Or his chin is done. Because after this fight, he has to fix that.
That's okay. That's okay. If Max Holloway's chin is done, he'll still have a poor chin. So.
What?
Yeah, no. Listen, like this fight showed us something that I think we can all agree on is that Max relies on his chin to like an insane level.
Yeah.
Because most of his footwork is for positioning for offense. He doesn't really appear to have much defense in mind. It appears to be mostly for offense. His defense
he
is
has
hitting
good
shots.
Head movement in the pocket.
Yeah, sort of.
He has good head movement in the pocket. He does fall apart when he's moving backwards. I'll give you that. But like this has been like the standard fault for all volume punches. Like that's why in the boxing model that you brought up before, brawlers normally beat swarmers. It's because just by virtue of needing to be close enough to throw that many strikes, you're gonna be in the range to get hit.
Yeah, but Poirier is not a brawler.
But like you look at all high volume punches, like Conor in his latter half of the featherweight run there was extremely hittable because he tried putting on that much volume. Nick Diaz was extremely hittable because he tried putting on that volume. Tony Ferguson is extremely hittable because of that volume. Doesn't mean that they're defensively bad. It doesn't mean that they're defensively bad. Some of them, like Ferguson, does a good job with his range, and Holloway, we spoke about what he's good at, right? But just by virtue of needing to be in range to strike that much, you are going to get hit a lot more.
Yeah,
so you're going to be relying on your durability a lot more.
In MMA, there doesn't appear to be a lot of people that have actual craft in defense. Like Dustin Poirier showed craft last night.
I've been saying it for a while that he has a lot of craft in his defense.
Yes,
but and he showed that.
Have that.
So does Holloway, but like my point still stands that so does Holloway also has good defense, but like
habits. I think he has enough bad habits. Might
like
not, but
stylistically, it's been known for like decades that swarmers usually get hit a lot harder against brawlers because for the exact reason I just mentioned now, they're going to try pushing the pace, so they need to be in the range more, and being in the range more means you're going to be there to be hit more. It's more a matter of like sheer sample size than it is about individual,
yeah,
how much you can avoid.
but that is in under the boxing model. We don't have a model like that in MMA. It doesn't quite work the same way.
Yeah, but most of this fight was done with boxing exchanges.
It was
Holloway, I
kickboxing.
mean, Poirier slowed down the fight towards the end with the takedowns, but like this same, the weight played out that like I mentioned started from the very beginning already. They didn't
But
wait
he
until
used
he
a lot of
got Max
useful
thinking about his punches.
investment in leg kicks early too. Like in order for Holloway to not move as much, he actually
stopped that real quick.
No,
though.
not just that. Yeah,
It did bother me. It did bother me that he stopped throwing those leg kicks after he hurt Max like 5 times.
no, but because his hooks did the same job but better. Holloway
yeah, but it wouldn't have been a bad idea. It wouldn't have been a bad. Max's legs are fucking skinny as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it
but
wouldn't have been a
I
bad
think
idea at
Holloway-
all. But those hooks hurt Holloway every time it landed, and
That's
it corralled
true.
him. It corralled him to move back in a straight line, which just fed into Poirier's game even more.
I agree, but it also would have been, I think, a lot less dangerous because Max really didn't have any counters to that. He landed 7 out of 8 leg kicks. Like,
Yeah,
and all of them
depends what you're trying to do. Because after you leg kick, you still have to reset your stance for a split
true,
second.
but he was also kicking Holloway's leg out, at least early.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I
but
think
like if you want to follow up with a combination, I think
Like,
hooks
what-
are better suited.
But he could have
what are
finished
the
his
chances
combos
that
with leg kicks.
he had accomplished his goal by then?
He could have also just used his leg kicks at the end of his combos.
Yeah, but he stopped throwing those leg kicks as
I mean,
often.
he threw them consistently at the same
Because-
rate the entire fight. He threw 2-2-2, 1-1 in each round. So he just never built up any sort of like, because in the first round, after he landed the first 2, he then rocks Holloway. Holloway lands one good shot and like backs off Poirier for 12 seconds. And then Poirier just continues to rock him over and over and over.
Yes, but my point is that he did exactly what he needed to do with those leg kicks. Like he didn't really need more than what he tried. Probably that's why he didn't use more.
Right. All right. Well, anything else you guys want to say about this fight?
Yeah, y'all suck.
We're right, and you know it.
No, you're not.
Same thing I want to say.
I want to say something. Like I've been bugged by this for so long, but I'm so happy Max tried pulling a guillotine on one of the takedown attempts, and it just didn't work. Like
why?
That's been bugging me for so long. Every time people are like, "No, did you see against Lamas? He threatened him with a guillotine and escaped the takedown." Like that doesn't work most of the time. And against someone who was competent enough to not spin around, it didn't work. Like, I was enjoying that so much.
But isn't that like a way of saving time, of like trying to save cardio or something, or to make?
No, he threatens to take down to get someone to let go of it, like what Lamas did. But it's not at a high level. It's not a consistent way to defend takedowns.
It's very low percentage.
So,
what he was trying to do there.
Also, I'd like to point out just how awesome just seeing two fighters who just have massive amounts of respect for each other, like fight it out, and just the lack of trash talk, the respect after the fight, Also, Dustin's just the man. Like with the charity work he does, and like the way he handles everything, he truly
he's
is
a very laudable person in
absolutely.
general.
Shout out to him and the charity, the goodfightgroup.com. The guy, he's just the best. And you know what?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? His pinned tweet from 2016, November 2016, is "It's all about perseverance." Yeah. Hell yeah, Dustin.
Yeah, he's that guy. Like it's very interesting to see. Like we're running out of time to talk about Dustin Poirier, but he has real, like, we should probably develop, like, one of those days when there's no fights, like, just deconstruct the style that he's built around himself, because if
you're cutting all the way out. You're cutting all the way out, bro.
Shit. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Who has demons now?
Mexican demons. No, no. What I'm saying is that when we don't have, like, when there's like a day without a fight, like no fight that night, that day, we should do like a retrospective of just how his style has changed over time, because it's very interesting to see where he was then and where he is now, considering the faculties that he has.
You look like you went through like a stretched out version of what Aldo went through, because Aldo basically came to the top blitzing people and then won the title. All of a sudden, he started developing this really basic, defensively sound style. And now Poirier, over a stretch of like a lot of years, and after losing initially very badly,
and
has like finally found he's finally found that same approach to fighting, but after so long.
Yeah, what works for him is like he's like every amount of like talent that he has squeezed it, right? Like, and he can still get better, right?
Yeah, I know, obviously. I mean, I'm not sure how much better. I'm not sure how much better he can get, because the style looks like fully developed at this point. Considering the only thing he really lacks is a range game, but that would offset his pocket game a bit, and maybe a wrestling game. But the only ones better, like Gregor. The only people better.
Lack a range game.
No, what? I'm saying that he can improve. I didn't say he has a lack of range game.
Oh, okay, fine.
But like, if he improves his range game to the point he doesn't need his pocket game, then I mean, that will offset his current style.
How many people?
Okay, I'm not sure, but my main point is his game is fairly optimized the way it is now. If he improves in any other areas, it will most likely change his style.
I don't think that it'll be takedown defense.
No, he has good takedown defense, and his wrestling is good. It's not like Gregor Gillespie or Khabib level, but like if he develops it to that point, if he develops it to that point, he'll end up changing his style, because why wouldn't you? And like, they are outliers. He's as good as he can get in every area for the current style he has, anyway.
We'll have to see. Okay, so now is this fight that Dog Boy next against Adesanya.
Okay. Don't you just love how my third scenario played out exactly as we discussed?
No,
except the other guy won.
No, I picked Adesanya in a war.
No, I think we said
remember I said
you picked Adesanya in a war?
Yes. So for the three scenarios I laid out for Bomber Alejandro last week, I said that for early finish I expect Kelvin to win, and we saw Adesanya get into trouble early. I said for control decision Adesanya would win, and I said in a war Adesanya would win.
Most likely.
Like, I was really impressed with Kelvin. He actually came out with new tools.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
he threw the 1-2 to the body. He threw the 1-2 to the body.
Kelvin definitely did come out with new tools, but he also kind of ran out of those tools.
You know what I found weird, right? So
he expanded his entire arsenal of techniques there.
Yeah.
No. So, you know what I found weird, right? So the fight starts and he still has all his energy. So he's exploding in and out with that leaping left hook and overhand, as well as the 1-2, which worked quite well early, surprising Israel's sense of range, right? I mean, I think he had Adesanya badly hurt in that first round. Then
in the fourth round too.
Yeah, but then he starts gassing, right? So he slows down a bit and he can't get that same bit of explosion. When that starts happening, instead of pulling his head all the way back every single time and getting hit for it, right? He starts moving his head down and forward and missing the shots. he starts taking smaller steps in the pocket and landing more consistently. And it's like, you see all the small flashes of really good technique, but only when he's gassed. It's like, if he came out in the first round like that, he might have won the fight because he wouldn't be expending as much energy.
But he was spending a lot of energy in head movement and evading a lot of punches. Like, he evaded a shit ton of punches.
Yeah, but that was when he was already gassed. Imagine if he did that in the start.
No, I
He could
know.
have preserved his gas tank a lot more.
That's kind of the thing. Like, I went back and watched a bunch of Rafael Cordero fighters, more specifically. I watched Golden Boy RDA. I went and checked Sabina Mazo, Ariane Lipsky, Montserrat Ruiz, Benil Dariush. I went back to Shogun. And they always have this problem that they don't have good defensive pocket boxing.
No, but I'm not just talking.
And that's what Kelvin.
I'm not just talking about that.
Kind of.
I'm not just talking about that. Cordero fighters, for elite fighters, for the most part, have always been good at pressuring with really small steps. Now, granted, Kelvin's pressure footwork was nowhere to their standard, but he was whether left hook. With that leaping, right hook and the left hook, and he offset that a bit. Wait, just let me finish. But like, again, he started taking those smaller steps we see from fighters like RDA and Dariush after he was gassed. So like, those improvements showed up at a time when they would be suboptimal anyway.
But there is a problem. That only started happening also because Adesanya was also fading. So what we have here, and the conclusion that I arrived, is that after watching Cordero fights throughout the years, is that works really well against people that have a commensurable frame to yours. Even watching Benil Dariush fight the long Russian guy.
Yeah, James Vick isn't Russian.
He's not Russian. He's American.
No. He knocked the fuck out James Vick, and we're all happy about that. No, the other guy, it wasn't necessarily a fun fight, but Benil sort of chased him around the cage the whole fight, and the other guy was not active enough, and so he lost the fight.
Rashid Magomedov. Magomedov.
I miss him.
Yes, and that's kind of like, as far as the style can take you in terms of frame, like what Kelvin was trying to do is that there is this tier of fighters that Rafael Cordero forms, and they get this set of techniques, right? Kelvin is somewhere in the middle as far as development goes. Like, he doesn't have the development that someone like, say, RDA had, right? He never had that. What he had was this ability to sort of cut distance really quickly and jump in and jump out. And he has a ton of power, and he can take a mean punch. And he sort of stagnated there, and he hasn't quite added so much to his arsenal. But he kind of did for this fight, but you kind of see the limitations of the style that has been built, because when you're fighting somebody that like Adesanya that can do the things that Adesanya can do, and a guy that is never out of position, a guy that moves to the side very well, that actually pivots, that actually changes stances and doesn't, it's not like he has a preferred stance of work, like he's ambidextrous, and he can, every time you're out of position, he's going to find your chin and he's going to touch it.
No,
right?
But that was my point. Those developments came out when he started gassing. As soon as a round started and he had some pop in his legs, he'd be doing the same bad habits over and over again. And when he started getting tired, those bad habits would disappear. And he'd fight
but those things
better.
could only happen. Well, but here's my take. Those things only took place because Kelvin had done work early enough to tire Adesanya so that he wasn't moving as much. But when he got in range to do those things you say, the tools that he has developed and the style in general are not conducive to winning a fight against a fighter like Israel.
No, but like in in the later rounds of the fight, when the round started, right, and he had that bit of explosion still in him from wrestling, a lot of those explosive shots weren't working. What started working was when he started playing with his lead hand a bit, taking smaller steps and working into the pocket before he started throwing, right? Basically the balance we're talking. No, but like, at that point, he wasted his explosion on doing stuff that didn't work.
I know, like wrestling him, but we kind of.
No, I'm not even talking about wrestling him. I'm just talking about striking only. Like he was doing a lot better when he was gassed, and I don't mean fourth round, beginning of the fight when Adesanya was also tied. During those periods there, he still wanted to explode. I'm talking about like in the middle of the round, towards the end of the round. When
but he really have it harder to do that.
No, but he wasted his cardio on the explosion every time, and it didn't pay any dividends.
No, I know, but that's the kind of the conundrum here. But because if he hadn't done that, if he had started doing what you said he should have done from the beginning, Israel would have blasted him out of there. Because
no, you misinterpreting what I'm saying, right? At the beginning of the fight, when Adesanya was still trying to figure out his range, perfect. He's hurting him. He's making him work, right? He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that in the latter rounds of the fight. At the start of the rounds, like at the start of the third and the start of the fourth, he didn't have to do that anymore. But he did it. It didn't work, and he just ended up tiring himself out even faster.
Yeah, but he got hit a ton of times, and he
got
technical development to make those choices.
But those technical developments came out after they gassed even more towards the middle of the rounds.
I know, but this is one of those weird times where people grow inside of fights.
That's what I'm saying is weird. It's what it looks like is, you know, when you in practice, right? And then your coaches will first try getting you tired and then drilling you with the techniques so that you will use those techniques, movement for movement, even when you're dead tired, right? What it looks to me was that when he was still at pop, he didn't think about that. So it was all about, okay, I'm jumping in for the left hand and then I'm moving straight back out. But then conversely, when you are tired, those same movements you'd expect good coaches to like drill into you when you are tired in class came out. So he has those developments. It's just for whatever reason he wants to rely on his athletic gifts.
Yes, no, but here's the conclusion that I reached. That style, once there, remember, we're talking about a blown-up welterweight. The guy shouldn't even be in those weight class. That style, the Rafael Cordeiro style, that intelligent pressure style.
No, but that intelligent pressure was working. He landed his best shots toward the end of the fight with that intelligent pressure. It's just that
but
instead of using it from the if he came out from the start of the round, but if he came out from the start of those later rounds like that, he could have still won those rounds because you wouldn't gas as badly. And again, he was doing his best work with that intelligent pressure. It took him to the middle of every single round before he was tired enough to start doing that.
No, but let me finish. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. His best work doesn't mean it's going to be enough. I do think he had a laudable performance, right? Like, how can you not laud what he did?
We might have just should have been his chin, though.
Exactly. That's also what may have happened.
No, but when he got hurt, he was dead. When he got hurt, he was dead tired. So not draining his gas tank as badly would have benefited.
Right, you are correct, but at the same time, when you get hit while tired and drop and hurt,
that might have been the end of his chin. Yes, but what I'm trying to say that in general, I could find no evidence by checking the record that there's ever been a Rafael Cordeiro fighter that's ever succeeded fighting somebody like Adesanya. This is the first time they meet something like this. It was an outside context problem for them.
I'm not saying Kelvin would have won. I'm not saying no.
One second. The only thing I want to point out is that Kelvin is also not the best example of a Rafael Cordeiro fighter.
That's my point also.
Right.
That's my point. But remember what I am saying. I went back and watched all of these Rafael Cordeiro fighters, and they always strike. Right. When Kelvin had, what I noticed was that he was having some success in the pocket, as Bilal is saying, but when he was getting shot after he was pulling back from punches because he was out of position or for this or for that.
He's also one of the most defensive, the least defensively sound high-level fighters. Like,
yeah, I know, but that's what I was saying. His defense got better. His defense got better when he was.
I am not arguing that. I am not arguing that. I'm talking from a historical perspective.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I think Alejandro is misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying you'd have won. I'm saying you'd have done better. He kind of shot himself in the foot with that.
He would have won. You're saying he was having success, but he started having that success much later than he should have.
Well, he had success in the first round too. He won that first round.
No, yes, but when he started taking the short steps, he means. But what I'm saying is that style, the Rafael Cordeiro style, even if Kelvin had the RDA acumen, which he does not have, I don't think it would have done him. He would have done better, but I don't think he would have won that fight necessarily.
No, but that's what my point was. I didn't say you'd have won the fight. I'm just saying you'd have done better to get close to winning.
He already came close to winning the fight. So,
yeah, like,
doing better might have been the difference.
Yeah, like last week, I still picked Adesanya to win in the scenario of a war. Because I think it was a bad matchup.
Hold on a second. Gastelum, the one key difference between someone like RDA and Gastelum is their cage cutting ability, I would say. If we have to pick one thing, right?
Definitely.
Right. So Gastelum was doing well when pressuring, but also couldn't cut the cage because he doesn't really know how to do that. Because he's so used to being so much faster and being able to stay distance.
He was using that right hook and overhand.
But he wasn't actually
no footwork.
But he was following Adesanya.
Ben, explain. How do you cut the cage?
Using your footwork, not just your punches.
No. I know, but
one of the two.
Explain what kind of motion you have to engage in order to cut the cage.
I think it's talking about diagonal rather than straight in and out.
1 second. Are you asking me to explain from a technical perspective, or you're just like in the context of these two fighters?
No. From a technical perspective, you have to take sideways steps.
Of course. So the way you cut a cage essentially is specifically the octagon, because it's not a circle, so it's a little bit different than like a Bellator cage, obviously, or a ring where there's four corners.
It's actually easier to cut the cage in an octagon.
Of course, because
it's easier. You just
angles. But my point is that.
So I'm going to explain it. So essentially, when let's say you have two fighters squaring up, one is more towards the middle and trying to back the other fighter up. If the other fighter's trying to circle, you literally follow them. So what I mean by that is, rather than taking sideways steps and also closing distance. So there is a difference, by the way, between just taking sideways steps and also closing the distance while moving forward.
Well, I mean, it's an octagon, so you can take a sideways step and still close distance.
Correct, but I mean, like, you're also, like, if someone's trying to circle to my right? So
the geometry helped you there.
What?
But the geometry helped you. But my point is, you take these sideways steps. The problem is that whenever Kelvin is trying to do this, if he tried, Israel has this massive gate that it makes no sense for him. Like, Israel is making strides while Kelvin is taking steps. So if he tried to cut the cage,
I see what you're saying. You're saying that Kelvin was at points trying to cut the cage off, but ineffectually.
No, I think he knew he couldn't. I knew his coach knew Kelvin was in no position to cut the cage against someone.
I think we're making presumptions at that point.
No, I am making a presumption because Kelvin I think
it's more that Kelvin just isn't good at it. Like, we've never seen him do it.
Possibly.
When was the last time Kelvin cut off the cage effectively?
No, we haven't seen it. But against Adesanya, against somebody that has the skill level that Adesanya has, really trying to cut the cage wouldn't have done him that much better unless he was very far away from him. And being very far away.
No, it would have still been better, because Adesanya sort of style thrives when someone is just jumping in and out, because then they're coming in on a predictable straight line. It's like you don't have to worry about getting in a pocket exchange. You just move in a circle or pivot, right?
Kelvin wasn't doing that.
Just let me finish. Kelvin does that all the time. He did it in here also with those leaping strikes, right? But like, if you cut off the cage, you are going to close the gap just by virtue of, the opponent being on a wider circle, you being on a slightly smaller circle. So when they move and you track them, they move into you.
I also don't think the idea of they knew that he couldn't cut off the cage is a good excuse. Like, good strategy is good strategy. No, what I mean is, you're trying to. I understand what you're saying. You're assuming that because of Kelvin's skill level or lack thereof, in terms of cutting the cage.
But you're saying that they spent hours training this guy to do something, and then he didn't.
No, I think he just doesn't do it because he's so used to having that speed advantage and being able to close the distance that he never actually utilizes it or works on it as much as he should in training. RDA doesn't have that. He never had a significant speed advantage over a large amount of his opponents, or if he did, it's also lightweight, so it's a little different than middleweight.
Yes, also, he's never fought that kind of frame before, RDA.
He fought Nate Diaz. What are you talking about?
But that's not.
Hold on, I'm not.
And also,
are we really comparing Nate Diaz with Adesanya?
I'm not. I'm comparing their frames. There's a difference.
But not that.
And also, just.
When was the last time
Nate is good off the back foot. Nate is also good off the back foot, and Kelvin had those techniques down. I just mentioned earlier, they came out when he was dead tired. But when he was dead tired, it's like, why? What's the point of coming out now?
So
exactly.
The idea behind this is that Adesanya. So Kelvin's never faced someone like Adesanya, nor has RDA. Fine, but name one pressure fighter on the level of RDA, or even close, that Adesanya's faced. Every single time we've seen Adesanya face anybody who uses pressure, he's gotten either hurt, backed up, or looked flustered. And these are inferior pressure fighters. So to say that RDA never faced someone like Adesanya, conversely, Adesanya never faced anyone who's as good a pressure fighter as RDA, and also has the same mix or similar mix of tools. So you have a guy who would be more defensively responsible. We can look at the statistics and just see that RDA gets hit less than Kelvin, or just watch a couple of fights. He has a larger variety of offensive tools, including his offensive grappling and top control, and is also insanely tough.
But he also engages in the same things a lot of Rafael Cordero. Mind you, I'm saying back when he was with Cordero, because there is a shift when he leaves Cordero.
Yeah, he started fighting more off the back foot.
Yeah, but he actually started moving his head a little bit more.
No, but he still trains with Cordero.
He left
as far as I know.
He just doesn't. He has his own thing going on, but he still trains with Cordero, dude.
Yeah, but he trained with Cirillo also.
What?
I think.
Because he wanted
to
move. I don't think it was because he wanted to specifically leave Cordero. I think it was like, I'm leaving this area also.
And also, I don't see any big deal with it, honestly, because we've seen lots of fighters from camps with a set style come out looking decidedly not like that style. I mean, does Luke Rockhold look like
I knew you were
anyone from AKA? That's like the easiest example. Okay, does like Conor look like anyone from SBG?
You don't even need to bring up like a Luke Rockhold. You could just point to Nate and Nick Diaz and look at the opposites they are.
Exactly.
Like, they develop training with each other. Because Nick wanted to pressure, so Nate had to fight.
Speaking of Nick Diaz, now that you mention him, isn't it? How far have we come that the fight we just saw between Holloway and Poirier used to be the kind of fight, like the pace, we only used to see that coming from the Diaz brothers years ago.
Oh, yeah. I think it's important to note, like, pace is one thing that has honestly just immensely changed from, even a few years ago.
Just the technical additions that have happened, over not long.
All right, guys. Listen, let's wrap this up because my wife wants to do some stuff and she needs to make noise. And so does Daniel, apparently. All right. So, any other fights on the card you guys want to briefly touch on? I unfortunately could not watch the undercard. However, I watched the Wilson Hayes getting murdered by Alejandro Pantoja.
Bilal
Yes, I was so happy. The tournament of death.
The tournament of death is playing out exactly as he wanted. I do want to mention Khalil Roundtree Jr.'s Muay Thai.
Oh my God.
Was so funny. Like just listening to Joe Rogan come repeatedly over and over again at the commentary booth and DC just reacting like, oh yeah, Joe. They're just jerking each other off at the commentary table.
That's at least a light on.
Meanwhile, John Anik just sounds uncomfortable the whole time. They're constantly like, oh yeah. Ooh.
I just don't like. Is he really a 205er?
Oh, those leg kicks look like they hurt.
One question. Eric Anders. Is he really a 205er?
This is his second fight at 205, I think.
But
he was first at middleweight. He was first at middleweight.
Whoa. Does he belong at that weight class though?
I don't know, honestly. Wait, no, is this fight at middleweight? You said?
I said Eric Anders was a middleweight fighter originally. He only moved up, I think, for like Thiago Santos.
Yeah, he went up after Thiago Santos. He went back down for Elias Theodoro, and now it doesn't even say until light heavieweight bout. It just said on Wikipedia, it just says Khalil Roundtree Jr. Did Khalil drop down? No.
Oh, he was a heavyweight, right?
He's always light heavyweight. Okay, this is a light heavyweight fight. Okay. Yeah, Khalil Roundtree Jr. did look good. He gassed out despite the fact he's beating the shit out of Eric Anders the whole time. I just really liked it.
Eric Anders fights.
Correct. I just want to point something out. Khalil Roundtree Jr. specifically said, I went to work on Muay Thai in Thailand. And a lot of times we see fighters talk about, I work specifically on X. And I've been really working on focusing on this. He actually showed, he's like, yeah, I wanted to show the tools that I actually was working on, even though he obviously, listen, he fought nothing like he usually fights, and Eric Anders had no clue what the hell was going on, because Khalil Roundtree Jr. literally came out looking like a Muay Thai fighter, and with the guard and the lifting the leg, and Eric Anders is like, what the shit is this? Why is he pressuring me?
I thought that I should have been stopped in the second round. Like after the second round, don't send
Jason Herzog is an asshole. Like, what the hell, man? Like, what did you want? What did you want to see? Eric Anders die? Like, come on. There should be a 3 knockdown rule. I'm sorry. You get knocked down clean 3 times, that's it. Fight's over.
Didn't he get knocked out?
You know what? Okay, I take that back. We'll make it 4 times because it's a 5-minute round. If you want to go crazy or whatever. Like, it's bullshit. Like, he had nothing. This is a classic, stop the fight, not because he's out or can't fight back, which he really could have.
Are you talking about a technical KO?
Yeah, a technical knockout. Yes, exactly.
One could even say TKO. One could even say TKO.
Yeah. So props to Khalil Roundtree Jr. The guy's a freakishly powerful dude. So I actually would like to see him keep doing what he's doing with this Muay Thai thing. He's only 29. He's not shop worn. He's only got 12 fights in his career. Man, I'd like to see where he can go still. I think there's still potential there. So good job.
He's not beating
Dwight Grant got a split decision.
Who cares about that? Remember the name.
Dude, Alan Jovan is the prettiest man alive. Fuck you.
Well, he's very beautiful, but he did not win that.
My wife doesn't think he's that good looking.
Did you see? Remember the name sunglasses? We are going
to get there. Nikita Krylov choked OSP, reminding us how bad
Sadness,
light heavyweight is.
The holy man
failed. How bad that Frivola defeated Jalen Turner by decision. He out-wrestled him. People were upset by the decision. I will go watch it.
I don't think he won that fight.
The shit out of Hayes. And Toja beat the shit out of Hayes, and it was great. Max Griffin beat Zalimi Madiev. I don't know. Khalid Taha, I did see this fight because it was only 25 seconds. He just murdered Boston Salmon.
Yeah, he made him sleep. He made him sleep with the fishes. He made him sleep with the fishes.
Hold on. I just told my wife that this guy's name is
Boston Salmon.
That's weird.
Well, yeah, but like, yeah, Ta sent Boston Salmon up the wrong creek. Salmon was chasing water balls.
Okay, so now, Bilal, you can gush a little bit about your namesake, Bilal.
Yes, and oh my God, this was so good. Like,
He did what we
he
thought
stayed
he
on the feet for longer than. Yeah, he stayed on the feet for longer than I expected, and
Yeah.
Melinda did a decent job of defending. But like, he was then getting timed with that. I think it was a leaping lead hook, and getting outstruck in the pocket whenever. I remember the name actually initiated the pocket exchange. I was like, what I was talking about with Adesanya and Kelvin Gastelum, if Kelvin Gastelum actually came out and used the skills he showed when he was gassed. Except that Muhammad like just did it consistently enough to actually win.
Right.
Yeah, but against a guy that isn't like massive compared to
What?
Yeah, what?
that he did it against a guy that wasn't massive compared to him.
He was
Like,
massive. He was
Melender?
freakishly long.
Dude, Melender was huge.
He wasn't that.
He was.
He was
way
that.
He wasn't
bigger
as
than
bricked up, but like he was so long.
What are you talking about,
Like
man?
shit, he could like
Dude, he's
take
4
items off the top of supermarket shelves.
Dude, he's 4 inches.
long?
He's 4 inches taller than Muhammad, and he's got a 4-inch reach advantage. He's a massive welterweight, and Muhammad barely cuts weight.
And like half his body is legs. So his height isn't exactly just long torso. It's like kicking range also.
How much taller is Adesanya than Gastelum?
5 inches. No, Adesanya is 6'4", and Gastelum is 5'9".
What does that mean?
He is 7 inches taller. It wasn't that pronounced, but Gastelum is also a welterweight fighting at middleweight. So
It looked goofy. Like
it looked hilarious. It was very funny. Yeah, it was a very funny looking fight. Also, Adesanya, listen, people were like, Adesanya was like calling out John Jones.
No,
my God, Jones would kill him. Yeah, like it wouldn't even be close.
No,
like,
it's very different stifling a takedown from a tired blown up welterweight than it is from John fucking Jones.
Yeah, no, John
Jones will murder him in the clinch.
And I would actually listen. I actually like Adesanya, but
I like him a lot.
That is a
Oh no, I love Adesanya. Like if you put on a Naruto tattoo on your belly, I instantly love you.
Yeah,
you're my guy.
I'm a huge fan. Like the guy fucking posed as Rock Lee against Anderson Silva. I was literally just like
he did this. He did the summoning jutsu at the start of one of his fights.
I know, and then one of the people. Fuck whoever animated that, by the way, because you animated him summoning Shenron. You ass.
Yeah, it's Toads or no deal.
Yeah, summon Gamabunta. If you're gonna put that much effort in, summon Gamabunta. Or Manda. Or Manda if you want to make him evil.
What do we get here?
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna just talk very, very briefly. Alistair Overeem versus Alexei Olenek.
Nah,
what do you guys make of that weird shit?
I have one word.
I don't know. It's heavyweight.
I have one word.
On another thread now. Like I've been thinking, isn't Kelvin Gastelum the perfect heavyweight fighter? I mean, think about it. Like he's tough as shit. He doesn't have a terrible gas tank. He's fast. That's like all you need. That's literally all you need. Roy Nelson made a career out of that.
Yeah, well, do you think his chin is gonna be like Arlovsky, that he took so much damage that it's better now?
It's heavyweight. He can probably just KO everyone in the first 3 seconds.
That's true. Honestly, like I'd pick Gastelum to beat like a bottom rung top 15 heavyweight. No.
I don't want to see that. Yeah, look, I just want.
I honestly think. So here's what I think. I think we'll see. That that Overeem will be the one.
Honestly, I don't care about this fight one bit. I don't care about Alistair Overeem.
I like Alistair Overeem for one reason, and it's weird because I hate him because he just kicked the crap out of Brock Lesnar, literally, and he also.
Why do you hate him for that?
I like Brock. I like
Why?
Brock. He's the reason I even started watching.
Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
Fuck you.
Oh, fuck you.
No,
I
fuck
started
you.
watching
What do you
because
mean
of
that's
Diego
embarrassing? Fuck you.
I started watching because of Diego Sanchez, dude.
I was in a sheltered Jewish home. All right?
How
I
does
didn't
Brock
even-
Lesnar have anything to related to that? Like
Because
how
he
does
broke through to the mainstream, which means I was able to see it. And I knew him from wrestling. So when I found out he was fighting Randy Couture for the title, I was like, oh, Brock Lesnar's a real fighter now?
Yeah, no, I had a similar experience also because my friends wouldn't shut up about Brock Lesnar fighting and getting beat in the UFC. And then I watched a Matt Brown versus Eric Silva fight.
Oh, wow.
That's a good
fight to watch. Could we also point out that I kind of miss juiced up Overeem, but I also the reason why I like Overeem is how many times he's reinvented himself to continue to stay relevant.
He's like he's like Dustin Poirier, but with like even less durability and at heavyweight where everyone sucks.
I mean, like, let's take a look. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Compare him
Can we
with
just point out? I need you to point out something. It was like in Pride, he was like fighting in his heavyweight debut. He knocked out Sergey Karatana with knees. Like, and then he went back to light heavyweight at one point to fight Lil Nog, Arona, and Hua, and got beat by all of them in a row. Moved back up to heavyweight, gets knocked out by his second fight, and then he goes on this crazy win streak while losing
steroids every day. He looked like fucking Superman.
Silva, Brown wins against Mir, loses to Rockwell, goes on a 4-fight win streak, loses to Stipe, 2-fight win streak, loses to Ngannou and Blades, and now he's like 44-17-1.
You know what this is? He's approaching an asymptote.
What?
Like he's approaching an asymptote. Very soon I'll be losing half a fight. I'll be winning half a fight and then losing.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway,
but can we talk about actually good fighters on the card? Because there are a few.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like
Makhachev, I'm assuming you're talking about.
Yeah, wait. Let me work my way from the bottom, just mentioning them, and we can see what we want to talk about.
Sure.
So, the first fight of the prelim card is Muhammad Mustafayev, which was
not Muhammad.
Oh,
I'm trying to put your name into people.
Magomed. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, so the last time he fought was against Kevin Lee. We broke his arm when Lee slammed him. But up till then, it was a very even fight.
Yeah, there's also Kevin Lee in 2016. So
yeah, but like he was one of the best up and coming prospects up until he lost that fight.
He's 30 years old now. He's 30 years old. Jesus Christ.
But fuck you, get excited. He's coming back.
I'm not excited because I don't even know who he is. I don't want to get my hopes up and then see a guy come back from a 3-year layoff looking like shit when I know he was good.
No, but he's not fighting anyone with a Wikipedia page, so
that doesn't mean anything. It just means they're not known. Go ahead.
But yeah, I'm still excited to see how he looks. Then moving 2 fights up, we have Marcin Tiberius versus.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that fight. I'm not interested in that fight.
Okay, fuck.
You know what I'm interested in?
Alexander.
You guys remember Yakovlev is returning? Where the hell is he been? Injured
no
or just
idea.
like partial retirement or what?
No idea, but he had better sub defense.
I have no idea who these people are.
Oh wow, he just took time off. He just took time off.
Yankolev is the guy who took Maia to a decision at the start of Maia's crazy win streak.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
So like he did better than Carlos Condit. He did better than Gunnar Nelson.
He's 6'3" and he moved down to lightweight for 2 fights.
Yeah.
1 fight, sorry.
Okay, but yeah, and then the fight just after that is Sultan Aliyev, who is wild as shit, versus Keitaro.
Keitaro!
Yes!
I love him.
I'm such a big fan of Keitaro.
He's the fucking man. How can you not like him? The dude's...
You know, he choked out, what was that, Steve Irwin's bodyguard?
What?
You know, the crocodile guy from Animal
why
Planet.
would he choke out Steve Irwin's bodyguard?
Because his bodyguard took up MMA, ended up in the UFC, and then he choked him out.
Hold on. Yes. Kyle Noak was Steve Irwin's bodyguard?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I had no idea.
None of them.
That's awesome.
I understood none of that.
Out.
That's
like
well, no, I like Kyle Noakes, so that makes me sad. But still,
no, I love Keitaro. I love that shit.
I love Kyle Noakes.
And it was like a last second submission, like for the entire fight also.
Okay, we'll move on. Because I got
Okay.
Krzysztof Jotko.
Okay.
I'm not as excited for him anymore, just because like I'm thinking his limits.
He has an athletic ceiling. But Roxanne Modafferi versus Antonina Shevchenko.
First of all, shout out to Roxanne, fellow Bloody Elbow people, and
Ryder.
I have an insane amount of respect for her. The way she just continuously plugged away. She had that really long losing streak and just came back, and she's proven to herself to be a really good fighter.
And she's also taking.
I don't know how much longer she's got. I don't know how much longer she's got. She's 36, but you know what? I will always root for her, and she's fighting against Antonina Shevchenko.
I'm having a rough time with this one because I love Antonina Shevchenko.
I know you do, but we got to ride her down.
Yeah, just root for Roxanne because she made a My Hero Academia quote one time on Twitter. So like that's all you need.
We gotta get absolutely.
It was so weird because did you see that they were calling each other out on Twitter?
Who? Antonina?
Roxanne and Antonina.
Why did you do that?
No. It wasn't weird. Well, it depends on what you mean by weird. But she sent like a picture to Antonina Shevchenko dressed like Captain America, saying that she was going to yes, I'm getting ready to beat you. And then Antonina Shevchenko responds something like, I am going to defeat you, and then I will go drink tea with my family. It was like this strange Twitter exchange, but it was funny.
That's a weird call out.
I know.
Okay.
It was funny.
Anyway, the last one I think we should talk about is Islam Makhachev.
Yes, small Khabib.
Very
well, better at finishing also, but like not as late.
He's on a 4-5 win streak, right?
He's on a 4-5 win streak. I don't know why he's fighting. Like some dude.
He's fighting some rando.
Yeah, I don't know why.
He's fighting Rando Calrissian.
Star Wars, dude.
Okay. All right, guys. That's it. We're done. Thank you all so much for joining us once again. Please, share, like, subscribe, everything like that. We really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to host this awesome podcast. And I love you, Dustin Poirier.